Alright guys, welcome back to GPL Summer 2014. As J-Storm's handheld microphone decides to die him, go change the batteries while I introduce the third the third game of the night. This is hilarious. Well, while J-Storm changes his handheld microphone batteries, my name is Wolf. Already introduced my casting partner on the casting table with me. Third match of the night, Machi Esports up against IG Rebirth. Let's recap the previous two games. First game, it was SAJ against the Bangkok Titans. The Saigon Jokers managed to win that one. And of course, in game number 2, it's the AHQ Fighters that went on against ISG Legends. And AHQ Fighters really put on a clinic and just showed why they come from the strongest region in the Garena Premier League. And of course, now it's once again going to be a Taiwanese team going up against a Singaporean Malaysian team. So what do you expect from this third game of the night, Machi Esports versus ISG Rebirth?
Well, most people out there will expect the Taiwanese teams to be crushing off foreign opposition, but in this case, this Taiwan team, Machi Esports, it's kind of deja vu to what Yoi Flash Wolves have had the previous split. Roster changes, last-minute player changes as well, especially as the mid laner and the top laner swapping around, because last minute, Guru Cat, the original mid laner, left the team. So Ender had to fill that role, and they had to bring in a new top laner to fill those shoes. So as a result, the team isn't really working that well together, and the opening match, they got dumpstered 15-0. So far, the fourth team that has come in usually from the Taiwan split hasn't really done that well. And this is their chance for Machi to prove that they're more than just pretenders in this case.
Yeah, I mean, being in the 4th seed is already quite, I would say, not a good thing to come in as. Yes, you come in from the Taiwanese region, but like you said, the 4th seed isn't one of the best. They don't usually put out some of the best showings in the GPL. In addition to that, all these roster changes, players leaving the team last minute doesn't help their case at all. So, from what you're saying here, are you predicting so-called an upset from a Singaporean/Malaysian team to beat out a Taiwanese team for match number 3?
I have to say though, I actually feel that Insidious Gaming Rebirth is the favorite in this situation, because the way that Machi played the previous game on the first day was very shaky, it was undecided, it almost seemed like the players weren't really communicating and working well together as a unit. But I could say the same as well for the Rebirth side in the game against Neolution Fulus. But being a Singaporean, I would have to side with the Singaporean team in this case, and I would feel that Insidious Gaming Rebirth will be taking this game.
Yeah, interesting that we kind of talk about these two teams. So before we actually get into the game proper, let's kind of take a look at the players from both Machi Esports and ISG Rebirth. Let's take a look at the player intro videos. Yes? No? Okay, while we wait for that one to come up.
There we go.
There we go. Didn't have to say anything more anyway.
这一 can 飞身上去，一刀把戒指给砍。哇，这个泥巴避免的血量看起来是有机会打死的，因为治愈，哎。
运输上面如鲁林线非常多。
哇，拉灯笼，哇，后丢灯笼，前方带钩，再一个刷阿土，受到非常沉重的打击。双方快掉了，掉了之后，双在双八扶着阿迪向前一个女武。还分身去给他立个无所谓，技能 CD 好了吗？交闪现以后 ，QRW 伤害不够，要被反杀了。弹回去，锁链出来，竟然是咕噜猫。
被进到这边看起来是直接会死，而且哇也进场，一次转3个漂亮的大绝，让大 J 是直接 接被他3人收掉。哇，这一波Machi战队。还没有交给哇，这个大绝吸到了非常多人。这一波 TPA 是有机会吗？可是坦度上、经济上面还是差距的非常大。透过魔被收掉以后 ，Ender 的血量还是非常的高，而且鲁鲁追击。
Now the IG redemption spot will be on the chase Barry Flashes forward, and will be fighting Super Mega Death Rocker. Very strong response coming in from Valkyrie. Now Valkyrie is the J finds that one more shot flashes forward. I guess that was that reset. Now he finds the shots as well with the gang center, and Tofu Juice will be the next target in this situation. Now Valkyrie will be on the chase. Slow misses from Birdie.
Pick up that one as Equivocal gets down to spike. Vera gets unstoppable force. So many people gonna go down. Valkyrie should be the next one to go down. BBCY on the back line. That one more auto attack gets it. Vera will pick up the kill onto that one. Don't know if he wants me to pronounce it as Vestrella or not, but nevertheless, it's gonna be so many kills all around. Waits there with that double buff. Will be happy to duel out BBCY and his finalings. BBCY pounds the barrel. Waits there, flashes away from that one. They're dancing back and forth. The volatile finaling will not be able to find him. BBCY along the side gets the shot in from that one, and we will see the heal coming up from Dream, the flash and the go-kart. Will it land? Ready, and Valkyrie has been sitting on that bloodthirster for extremely long. 4-0-3 on his jig now.
Oh, never mind that. You can have the ray buff. I'll just pick it up from you later, says LF4. As he kind of misses the last hit of the ray buff.
Oh my goodness! The flash and blade surge! Wow, God! And there we go. Having taken a look at both of these teams, it's going to be quite an exciting match ahead of us. But before we actually get into the picks and bans, let's kind of talk about some of the giveaways that we will be having over the course of the entire GPL season. And today might be the last day in week number 1. But of course, if you are watching on any of these streams and you want to and you do have the Garena Plus client, you can visit the Talk room to get into some of these actions where moderators have opportunities to give away a pentakill skin if you answer some of their questions.
And nonetheless, we are in the pick and ban already, but as they ban out Syndra into stuff, let's not forget about the Twitter question online. Do you hashtag a GPL esports to us? Which 4 teams would you like to see comprise the top 4 of this field of GPL?
That's right. So which are the top 4 teams you expect to see in the GPL summer? Use the hashtag GPL esports and tell us your answer to that question. We are in the picks and bans now. So it's Machi esports up against ISG Rebirth. Bans are already underway. Syndra, Kha'Zix, and Lee Sin for the side of Machi. And on the side for Rebirth, they're going to ban out Twisted Fate, Kassadin, and one more priority ban. I do expect it to be a Jax ban, possibly, for Rebirth.
Machi, they have done the homework. They know Floda likes the Syndra pick a lot, and they are betting 2 jungle bans being targeted at Wei in this situation. Now Wei-Jie, he does play a decent Elise as well, so I would think that should be the first pick for Machi in this situation. Tustoff and Cassidy almost compulsory raid side bans at the moment because you don't want to be dealing with this roaming and ganking presence from these two very strong mid laners as well. And in fact, Insidious Gaming Rebirth, they will miss the third ban as Machi will be locking kill for themselves as their first pick.
Yeah, that's right. So the kill lock in for Machi Esports. That can go to the mid lane or top lane, but this leaves the Jax open for ISG Gaming Rebirth. They decide to, throw away their last man in order to kind of pick up a few more priority champions.
So nonetheless, he's hovering over Jax and Arella. Both of these two champions very strong, scaling late game carries that our is very comfortable with.
Yeah.
And I think Wei-Jie should be picking up his jungle for himself, knowing that Kha'Zix and Lee Sin already have them banned out.
I would love to see LY4 play that Arella. We saw in a highlight reel, he wanted to go and eat up the red buff, but instead of doing that, he decides to eat up 3 champions in the process.
So Shyvana also is no stranger on the champion, played 7 times during the Legend Circuit qualifiers, and Wei-Jie's weapon of choice will be Evelyn in the jungle, which will only leave Elise as the last top tier jungle. But Machi might throw a curveball here, Nunu as a pick here. And going for a Nunu composition is definitely a possibility in this case.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see what Jay, Kane, and Ender decides to pick up for their team. They're hovering over the gangplank. They like to do this a lot in Champion Select, but not lock it in, of course. And let's see if we will finally get a Machi Esports gangplank in the Garena Premier League. Jarvan being considered in the jungle. It's been a very long time since we saw the Prince of Demacia enter Summoner's Rift.
Well, Jarvan is kind of a tier 1.5 jungler at this point of time because most of the current junglers, they have very high impact and you want to have another jungler that can match their impact. So some people have been defaulting to a Jarvan when they see a lot of these champions being banned out. Xin Zhao is also another one of these tier 1.5 junglers that people still pick up as a secondary high impact jungle.
Yeah, I do expect to lock in these 2 picks for Machi Esports. Thresh and Lucian are a very strong lane. We saw from the AHQ Fighters game, RD as well as Ysera doing a fantastic job of just controlling their lane counterparts. And now on your screens we have Loda. Let's take a look at what he will decide to pick for his team or even himself. Valkyrie going for that Twitch. He is an extremely good Twitch player, and that is one of the other top tier marksmen that is left available after Lucian has been taken away by Machi Esports.
LeBlanc here is definitely an option for the Insidious Gaming Rebirth team, but it looks like they will be saving the mid lane pick for last because some people are saying that Floater hasn't really gelled altogether well with the team, so they're trying to leave the mid lane pick for last so he can kind of counter pick whichever mid laner Machi decides to bring to the table.
Yeah, Lola here will be selecting for Vera now, so Nami and Twitch is going to be a lane if they do lock it in. Vera extremely comfortable on both Nami and Zyra. He tends to play these champions more often than not nowadays anyway, so it's going to be the Nami and Twitch lock-in for ISG Rebirth. Let's finally see the final rotation of picks here for the side of Machi Esports. What will it be? Will it be the Jarvan? Will we see the Prince of Demacia again return to Summoner's Rift? You were kind of talking about how he was a tier 1.5 jungler. We may still see Machi Esports decide to pick him up, and of course the Irelia. So if they do lock these 2 in, it will mean that we will see the kill in the mid lane.
So Machi, if they do lock in this Irelia, it will mean that they are going for a hyper-scaling composition with 3 core carries in the form of Lucian, Kill, as well as Irelia to do a lot of sustained damage into the late game, with Irelia diving the backline and Kill being a monster with the Runan's Hurricane build that will be doing lots of damage to the Insidious Gaming team. And on the side of Insidious Gaming, they might want to go for something that can combo well together with the rest of the team. You already have the Ethan for the setup, you have the Twitch that will benefit from a very good setup. So if they were to go for a very AoE-centric mid laner, I think once again Orianna would be a very good choice here. They can set up for very strong picks and a very strong mid game for themselves.
Yeah, let's see if they do lock in the Orianna in the mid lane. ISG Rebirth have 1 more pick left, and
Actually,
they know
Lulu is open, and I think the Lulu here would be a very strong pick for Insidious Gaming because you have a lot of bullying potential against Kill in the early stages of the game, and later on you can also help set up for the Evelyn as well as Wildgrowth the Jax in the later stages of the game.
you can see Vera here on your screen just talking with the rest of his team, deciding what will be the best pick coming into this match. They know that they'll be facing off against a KO in the mid lane, and KO does take some time to kind of ramp up. She can be a lane bully, but if you play another aggressive laner such as probably Lulu in this game, or maybe a Nidalee as well, or they do lock in the Nidalee. So what do you think of that one? You wanted an AoE-centric mid laner or some mid laner that provides a little bit more utility, but they decide to go for Nidalee in the mid lane. And Floda, I remember during the TLC Grand Finals, Nidalee was constantly banned out against the ISG Rebirth squad, and it does seem like Nidalee might be Floda's pet champion.
Unlike the sisters team, it feels like Insidious Gaming, they don't really have much of a direction or game plan when they come into these games, because when you go for Jax, that is a scaling option. You go for Evelyn, that's a setup option, that is a hard engage option. That requires a lot of setup for it to work. You go for Twitch, who also benefits from loss. Yes, he can create picks on its own, but those are very situational situations, and you usually want to be able to get him in those massive team fights, get AoE damage, cluster your opponents together, and get massive damage with the spray and pray. We see him being played with champions such as Kill, such as Orianna, because Twitch is a champion that wants to team fight, Evelyn is a champion that wants to team fight. This Nidalee pick is very weird over here, because Nidalee is a champion that wants to kite away and constantly siege. Although they have the Nami to go alongside that, it feels like they have a very half-baked composition coming into this.
Yeah, I mean, I have to completely agree with you, because there's very little that Nidalee can do outside of, you know, be that siege monster, be that poke monster coming into this game. And Twitch is not one of the best champions that's used for sieging, and neither are any of these other champions that can kind of, complement the Nidalee siege spears. And if you don't have someone that's able to capitalize on the fact that Nidalee can chunk someone down extremely low, that Nidalee is just there for some interference. And if they aren't able to kind of use that team composition properly, it will be very worrying for the side of ISG Rebirth. On the other hand though, Machi Esports seem to have a more cohesive team composition. Irelia in the top lane, Kale in the mid lane can do a lot of burst damage and try to dive the back line as much as they can. In addition to that, Jay Kane on the Jarvan can go in, use that Demacian Standard and the Dragon's Lance to knock up as many people as possible, and of course use the Cataclysm to lock in as many people.
Okay, on paper, this might seem like a good idea at first, to pick one champion from each different kind of category and say that, oh, because now we have this, we can split push with Jax, we can engage with Evelyn, we can siege with Nidalee, we can find picks with Twitch, and we have Nami for this engage. This is a very good composition. But what is the result of this is that because it's so sporadic, it's not focused into any one area, so what Insidious Gaming needs is they need some very solid early game cheese to get the lead that they need to be able to exercise these options, because they are so sporadic, they are so unconcentrated. If they actually go even and go with Machi Esports, Machi Esports will simply have a superior team composition going up against them. And let's not forget, they are up against the top, and they're on the kill. Golem on the Irelia. These two champions, they skill so well. If in Serious Gaming they cannot find the lead that they need, they are going to have a very hard time dealing with these late game hyper carries.
Yeah, in addition to that, Machi Esports has a fantastic composition of just going into the entire team. Irelia of the Blade Surge, of course we just saw the Flag Lance combo, or just talked about the Flag Lance combo from JK. And of course we have Dreamer here playing Thresh. The moment he lands a death sentence, gets into the middle of the team, uses the box and the flay, that's going to spell a whole bunch of trouble for ISG Rebirth.
And now Machi, they have Spirit out in their own jungle, and looks like they will be defaulting back to their own lanes. I would have thought that if in Serious Gaming they actually went for 4-0 push, it is one of the things that they need to get themselves ahead in this situation, because you want to be able to create a very fast siege in the mid lane at about level 5 when they down 2 towers in the top lane, and then they can open up a very large part of their opponent's jungle to find picks and options against this team of Machi. But it looks like they are going to default into normal lanes. I have to disagree with this decision coming from Insidious Gaming Rebirth, but nonetheless they might have a slight advantage in the bottom lane, considering that D and Dreamer missed out one creep. Actually no, they don't miss any creep over CS.
Yeah, that's right. So Machi here looking to hit the level 2 first. Let's see which pair decides to hit that one and go on to the aggressive. Dreamer and D here definitely have the advantage if they hit the level 2, if they land the death sentence, and if they get a lot of that burst damage coming out from Lucian in the early game. This bot lane can become very volatile very quickly.
Now Valkyrie and Vera, they're a little bit behind in health in this situation, so they have to be careful of the level 2 all-in should D and Dreamer decide to go for that option. But nonetheless, they hit level 2 first and they should be a little bit safe. Now the ebb and flow is available for Vera.
Without So it's going to be quite scary to face up against the Thresh in the lane. Vera doesn't have a whole bunch of health. Will start off with the Spell Thief's Edge, whereas Dreamer decides to go with that Ruby Crystal start, giving him that additional health and a little bit more access to the Sightstone.
Now we actually see Ethan coming down from Weijian. This is a high impact jungler and he needs to make things happen. He knows that.
Oh, there we go. The death sentence will land, but Weijian is on the side. Vera gets taken down extremely low. They will continue to fight this one. Gets the slow onto Dreamer, but they will back up from this. No kill potential just yet in the lane. In the mid lane, though, Floater gets taken out very low. One more auto attack will be enough. Ender needs to back out of there. If not, he would have died right under the turret.
Very interesting, and they blew all summoners and so did Flora as well, but Flora's returning, trying to get more pressure down. He has got the heal available to himself, and so does Ender as well. So both of these mid laners, they will be choosing to play risky. Actually now JK being caught up by Weijian in his own jungle.
Oh, the junglers will fight it out here, but Weijian gets that auto attack and the smite in just for a little bit more spike in the damage, getting away the big wolf camp, and JK's counter jungling shenanigans have been in a little bit of vain there. So IG Rebirth now just kind of keeping their heads above the water a little bit, because like you said, the team comp might not work out all too well, but it does seem like so far it's been a rather good start for both these teams.
Okay, so the gang from Even, I have to say though, although it wasn't all that successful, they did manage to blow a summon spell from Dreamer, and they alleviated a lot of pressure from Valkyrie and Vera. So this has actually allowed Valkyrie to pick up a slight CSD for himself.
JK though coming in the bottom lane.
Once again, Weijian is looping around the top side.
Oh, there we go. First blood going down to Valkyrie. JK just visits the lane, uses the flag lance combo, and gets the first blood for his team, passing the kill over to D on Lucian. In the top lane, though, we may see a gank happen. Not very sure if Weijian will be camping that one. The counter-strike comes off the flash from Golem, and then we get the slow. Oh, no red buff slow, so Golem will just be able to walk away. He did burn a summon spell, nevertheless.
And that's a very interesting play so far. So Weijian has been visiting the lanes, he has been forcing summoner spells, but yet we have not been able to see anything happen out of it. Let's take a look at the replay of what happened in the bottom lane. Now this is a problem when you play a Nami as a support. The moment you miss the bubble, you are in so much trouble. He missed the bubble to Jaken, and immediately his AD carry dies as he's unable to find the disengage necessary to escape away from that one.
Yeah, that's right. So that kill there, nice gank, saw Valkyrie and Vera slightly extended in the lane, walked right through the river, got a flag lance combo, and easily picked up the kill. And as you said, Vera unable to land that bubble really costed them and costed Valkyrie his life. But that's not an easy skill to land, and he nearly managed to allow Valkyrie to escape from that gank.
And this is looking bad for Insidious Gaming Rebirth. I said that their win condition this game was to find some early game cheese. Weijian has been trying to make lanes happen, but that hasn't really been too successful so far. JK visited the lane and immediately got a kill. Weijian forced 2 summons so far, and that, although yes, it's kind of good, it isn't enough.
Yeah, that's right. So let's see how the game will progress. Now we see the piercing light being hit onto Valkyrie. Bot lane is just going to trade back and forth, and now in the mid lane though, we may see Flora in a lot of trouble. He's definitely going to go down to this gank. JK just doing an exceptional job. I love Machi Esports because of JK. He's the veteran jungler of the team. Used to play for YE Spiders in the top lane, and it just shows why he is the pillar of Machi Esports. 2 ganks, 2 successful kills from the Javan player.
Definitely indeed, JK showing his veteran and why that a lot of people talk the Taiwanese region to have the best junglers in the entire Southeast Asian region. So now talking a little bit about this bottom lane matchup between the Dreamer as well as going up against Valkyrie and Vera. Valkyrie and Vera will always be constantly hard pressed if they were to stay in the lane. However, if a jungler were to visit from either side, the Q potential is very real. And Q lands on the Valkyrie, so a whole bunch of trouble. Flame missiles on him, and so does the bubble.
Not much happening just yet. D actually takes a little bit of damage, actually quite a bit of damage. Going down to about half HP, he still has his heal and the flash. JK is on the wings and he can respawn. He's just about to recall now, so if a gank happens or if some aggression happens, he will not be there to help out his bottom lane.
So the second rotations of buffs have just come up. JK has Cataclysm available for him, as well as Agony's Embrace available from Waitia the moment he picks up the next camp for himself. So it looks like JK will be heading to secure the blue buff for Enter in the situation. So it looks like the Lantern Gang of bottom lane isn't just going to happen just yet.
Quite quiet now, so with all the lanes kind of normalizing, let's take a look at the creep score. Top lane's quite even. In the jungle, of course, they have been putting a little bit of pressure. Blue buff being passed on to both the mid laners. In the mid lane, however, that one kill really extended. Oh, we do see the death sentence land, and Valkyrie takes 2 shots to the face. Vera tries to put back some damage, but eats a piercing light in return. Bot lane, of course, after that kill, we constantly see D trying to pull ahead in terms of CS. Oh, LY4 now uses the counter strike and the leap strike to get away from the aggression of JK. JK just really doing a fantastic job of visiting all these lanes, creating the pressure, creating those kill opportunities, and even he was able there in the top lane to push LY4 out of lane.
I have to say though, that was the first time JK in this game didn't really achieve anything, and because he went to a top lane, this opens up a window for Insidious Gaming to go for this dragon attempt. But nonetheless, the response from Ender is good, and they should be able
there we go. You see
here.
the death sentence land, and D comes up with the execute damage, preventing them from contesting the dragon at all. And now with the jungler down, JK can proceed, move over to the dragon, get control of that area, and just try to pick that one up easily for the side of Machi Esports.
In fact, he pops up the calling and looks like he will be recalling. Oh, in fact, they actually will be starting up the dragon in this case. Vera's around the side.
Oh, sneaky little aqua prison there. But nevertheless, it's just gonna be JK, Dreamer, and D to go ahead and pick up the dragon for Machi Esports.
And that's the first dragon of the game, going down at 9 minutes 56 seconds in the favor of Machi Esports. This is definitely a very resurgent performance compared to the previous one against AHQ itself, in which they got unceremoniously dumpstered by the second place finishers of the previous split.
Dragon being picked up there by Machi Esports gives them the slight gold lead, about 2,500 gold ahead of ISG Rebirth. Everyone on the map now just trying to pick up their core items as quickly as possible. So with that global objective down and all turrets still standing for the side of both teams, lanes are going to resume back to normal, and now it's just going to be, we have to see which team decides to move to get the second objective of the game, at least another dragon or possibly even a turret.
Well, definitely this game isn't looking too good for them. They need to pull off some miracle rotation and perhaps win some incredible team fight out of a mistake from Machi. Perhaps developing a more turtle-ish stance is what Bangkok Titans were doing earlier today, could help to benefit them, but they have a Nidalee in the mid lane, which is a very high risk, high reward pick. You do well when you get a hit, but when you start to fall behind, it just feels like forever for the rest of the team for you to land those engagements. And here we go, streaming onto that Twitch. We see the ebb and flow and the ambush, but that doesn't really translate into anything.
Waitia will visit the lane now, so ISG Rebirth has sent their jungler to visit the bottom lane. Oh, there we go, Agony's Embrace, and the Tidal Wave Dreamer takes a lot of damage, has the flash up. Will Vera be able to get in with another Aqua Prison? The death sentence nearly landing onto Vera, but the two members of Machi Esports will be able to negate the gank coming out from ISG Rebirth. Floda now needs to run away from both Ender as well as JK. He gets away with his life though, but look at what just happened. Waitia went down to the bottom lane, got the Agony's Embrace off perfectly, but still they were not able to get anything out of that gank. So gank unsuccessful, and they even burned a few summoner spells. Vera and Waitia had to flash forward to try to get a kill onto Dreamer playing Thresh.
Although Evelyn is a very high impact jungler, she needs a lot more setup as compared to a lot of her counterparts. But even in those situations, as compared to Lee Sin, compared to Kha'Zix, and compared to Elise, who all have stronger forms of CC and more amounts of burst, Evelyn, she doesn't really lock down a single champion or really disable them out from fights.
Oh, Ender in a little bit of trouble. Floda needs to run away now. Intervention being used. Will Ender be able to get away from Waitia? Let's see, the hate spikes will not be able to land on Ender just yet. Ender is still running away from this one. Can Waitia once the speed boost comes out, the hate spikes are still not landing. There we see the blessing coming in, giving him the additional move speed. He's getting with that potions and he survives. Getting the kill onto Flora, using the intervention at the perfect time, and the Divine Blessing with the move speed allows him to get away from Wei Jie.
Okay, this is something I want to talk about item purchases from Evelyn. If you feel that your opponent's mid laner is running movement speed runes, sometimes it is advisable to go for a boot instead of picking up.
Oh, there we go, the wraparound now. Dreamer gets hit by the Aqua Prison. This should be an easy kill. Will D be able to get away from this one though? The culling, he's moonwalking backwards, and Wei Jie actually takes a whole lot of damage. D gets the counter kill.
Wow, this game has just gone completely south for Insidious Gaming Rebirth, but at least they managed to pick up a kill for themselves.
And once again, JK from the side uses the Cataclysm. Floater unable to get away, actually jumps backwards into the auto attack range of Ender. Ender's just gonna swish and swoosh, pick up the kill in the mid lane.
Now this is Insidious Gaming Rebirth. Not only did they not come into this game with any form of game plan, they just seem to be folding under the pressure that JK seems to be applying onto them. Wei Jie has been, once again, I just have to say this, Wei Jie, he hasn't really been able to find the kills that he wants to be finding as Evelyn. And what I was saying earlier is that if you feel that your team doesn't really have that much CC for you to back up with, it might be more advisable to go for a boot before completing your Spirit Stone item in this case.
Yeah, so Wei Jie still doesn't have the brown boots of speed just yet. LY4, wow, a lot of damage coming back in. Wei Jie from the side, gets down the counter strike. Will Golem be able to get away from this one? Pops the Grandmaster's Might, goes in with the leaf strike after the flash. Unable to get a kill. So many ganks have happened, so many attempts onto the, well, before that though, will Ender be able to pick up a kill onto either LY4, JK onto the side. Oh, Wei Jie reveals himself. He's gonna get eliminated by JK. LY4, you are going down. Golem even pops back into the fight after that one and gets an assist. This is just spiraling so horribly for ISG Rebirth. Every time they try to go for a gank or some aggression, the opponent always manages to get away with a sliver of health. They can't finish the gank, they can't finish the aggression off now. And every time this happens, it just turns out so horribly. Varric eats a death sentence to the face and just dies to the combination of D and Dreamer.
And now they have 9-1 in the favor of Machi Esports. 8 also go ahead. D goes for the dive.
D just goes in, uses the culling, and tries to shoot his own creeps.
Doing a little bit of what we would call moonwalking in the situation. Nonetheless, he completely wastes his alternate, and he will have to grab Dreamer's Lantern to get out of there safely.
Oh, Ender eats a spear to the face. Floater spear doing a little bit of damage now, but Ender is definitely the one that's ahead. Already has his stinger. Floater has yet to complete his Athene's Unholy Grail.
3-0 and 3 on that kill. Very strong performance from Ender so far this game. His transition from the top to the mid lane, because kills a champion that is shared by both of these two roles. So I would say that Ender in this situation isn't really feeling the bite having to play kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, that's right, and Ender has really been pressing onto Floater throughout the entire game. And JK has just done an exceptional job of helping out his bottom and his mid lane, as well as his top lane, to alleviate some pressure in the early game. And it has caused these laners and help his laners to push ahead and become the better team into the mid game. Transitioning to the mid game with these objectives, with the items and the kills, will definitely help out Machi Esports in their road to victory, picking up their first win of the GPL. It is still 16 minutes into the game only, so IGR Rebirth still has a chance for a comeback.
I doubt it. This 10,000 goal difference at 16 minutes in Serious Gaming Rebirth is like what I said. The moment they play and ban face either, they needed this kind of goal lead at this period of time against Machi Esports. But on the other hand, it's Machi Esports now who has the amazing goal lead against Insidious Gaming. Although, yes, games with bigger goal leads have been thrown before. In Serious Gaming, they need a complete freak performance from Machi Esports to be able to lose. You could give this situation to any amateur team, and they should be able to close out the game from here.
Yeah, 10,000 gold, as you have said. 17 minutes in, Floater. You are in a very dangerous position there, JK. If he landed that flag spear combo, you would have definitely been a very dead Pharaoh Nidalee. D now trying to deal as much damage to this Bottom lane tier 2 turret, just as Machi Esports, the combination of JK and Ender picks up the mid lane one. Dreamer and D not relenting on this aggression in the bottom lane. Will D continue to hammer away at this turret? Valkyrie and Vera will not be able to do anything at all in this aggression.
And now Insidious Gaming Rebirth.
Oh, in the mid lane though. Ender actually setting up a bait that actually gets shut down by Wei-Jie. Has to flash out of that Cataclysm over the gigantic Wraith Wall. But nevertheless, it is a 1-for-1 trade. Ender was just recalling in plain sight there, just trying to bait his opponent, but he did go down, costing his life as well, of course.
Well, that's one way Machi Esports can lose this game. If they get too complacent, get too cocky, try to showboat a little bit too much, and perhaps Insidious Gaming still can take this game. But that would really take a lot of arrogance, perhaps even to the extent of a fountain dive from Machi for them to lose this game.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, 11,000 gold now, 18 minutes in this game. This is a pre-20-minute game with a 5-digit goal lead. And this is just insane now from Machi Esports. It's really hard to fathom how they can lose this game, especially now if you take a look at the items. Trinity Force, long ago completed onto Golem, has already completed his build for the Cutlass. The biggest difference now, of course, is in the mid lane. Rabadon's Death Cap and Stinger compared only to the Athene's Unholy Grail. 4-1 and 3 on Ender compared to the 0-4 and 1 on Floater. This is just... wow, this is just completely decimating the team here.
This is a zombie horror movie, and Insidious Gaming are the zombies in this case. And Machi just killing them, but they just keep standing back up. But eventually they'll fall down.
You have to kill the zombie brain center called the Nexus, so... once you kill the Nexus, no zombies will revive anymore.
Shoot them in the Nexus indeed. And definitely don't forget the double tap rule.
Yeah, double tap. I mean, Light Slinger is the best skill for double tapping and killing those zombies there. No better way to kill a zombie. Ooh, Golem and LY4 actually going in, but JK is onto the side. He will not be able to land the knock-up on the flag lance combo. LY4 has to flash away. Valkyrie on the side. The curling will become the missing as he hits nothing now. But Wei-Jie putting his body in between all his opponents. Ender coming in. The tidal wave will knock in, and the Alpha Prison hits 2 people. The Rat-a-tat-tat has already been used. IG Rebirth can only back away from this one, losing their jungler now and losing the tier 2 top lane turret. 6 turrets in favor of Machi Esports to the 0 turrets of IG Rebirth. This is turning out to be a farm fest for Machi Esports.
Definitely, it almost feels like they're playing that. Insidious Gaming Rebirth, they really didn't turn out today. It felt like their drafting phase, they didn't have any real plan. The laning phase, they didn't have anything set out for that, and now they're just falling apart for the aggression coming from Machi Esports.
This is looking completely dismal for IG Rebirth. I don't know what they can do, and D just using the relentless pursuit, putting a few pot shots in the face of IG Rebirth. It's gonna take more than a miracle for IG Rebirth to come back into this fight. This is just... I don't know what the players are feeling now, honestly, because the goal deficit 21 minutes into this game is just so hard to come back from. There's not much that we can say, J-Storm. I mean, both of us are kind of lost for words now, because it's just a matter of time before Machi Esports cleans up and wins the game after they take the Nexus.
We're watching a 21-minute death animation, and it's going to 22 minutes soon.
I don't know, I think, like you said, from the 18 or 16-minute mark, the moment Machi Esports had about 9,000 gold lead, that was just a death timer slowly starting to trickle away. I mean, the IG Rebirth are just bleeding gold, bleeding objective after objective. It has to take some crazy team fight for them to win. Like, they don't even have the tools for that wombo combo that we were looking for. Floater needs to constantly chuck and land all his spears. With LY4 and Wei-Jie from the flank, if they go in for initiate, be in front of Valkyrie with the Rat-a-tat-tat, maybe they stand a chance of winning. But I don't even think they have enough damage or the damage output to try to kill off Machi Esports in the split in a matter of a few seconds.
And looks like Machi Esports, they will be finally gathering towards the mid lane. They have picked up all the necessary buffs for themselves, and they will be moving towards this mid lane to try for a game ending push, but Ender gets caught a little bit too much.
Uses intervention, takes the Dark Passage, will walk out of there with his life. This is just Machi Esports, you know, doing whatever they want because they can just lose up. Oh! Weijian gets caught. He's gonna just get instantly melted. Tidal Wave will only land onto Dreamer. And with that 4v5 advantage going to Machi Esports, they're gonna just constantly lay waste onto this turret. Vera will get destroyed now. Floater will be the next one to go down. This is most likely game. Oh! Death Sentence will land. Dreamer gets a flash. Death Sentence. He will manage. Oh no, he will not manage to survive. He's gonna go down to the turret. This should be game for Machi Esports.
And Insidious Gaming, they pick up their third kill of the game as Machi Esports is knocking on the Nexus Towers of the base. This has been a disaster for Insidious Gaming. No plan, no rotations, no solid laning phase, and the jungle making zero impact in the game.
LY4 and Weijian, Agony's Embrace coming in. They take down Ender. They manage to defend at this last Nexus turret and chase Machi Esports away. Aqua Prison will not land. LY4, Weijian, and Vera will try to chase onto D. Oh, actually goes in with the Leaf Strike. Can they get the slow? Use the Bilgewater Cutlass, but the Relentless Pursuit will just completely negate that one. Counter Strike and Flash. Golem actually going in, uses the Blade Surge to the white camp to get away. They're gonna constantly and continuously chase onto this one. They're gonna turn around. Will D be able to survive? It is not gonna be the case. Oh, we did see Golem pick up a kill onto LY4, but he's gonna get shut down here by Weijian. A few consolation prizes, but the thing is, ISG's base is now in complete shambles.
So now once again, Machi Esports looking for all the members to respawn again before going for another victory march down the mid lane. Let's take a replay of the fight. Whoa, nice animation over there. So we see a bubble landing over here. And the engagement comes in from JK. They immediately kill off Vera, and this is the decimation of the Insidious Gaming team the first time around. Fleta drop extremely low. Here goes the piercing light, and he will immediately drop at this point. And just look at the goal difference, and it's just way too much. The damage is unable to be surmounted by that of the Insidious Gaming team, and Machi immediately destroys him, and the tower picks up the third kill of the game for them.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see if they manage to defend that one lone Nexus turret. Yes, they do. The first inhibitor has respawned for them. Oh, there we go. Vera gets caught out, uses the Tidal Wave before going to his watery grave though. Machi Esports picks up a kill onto the support. They don't even need to consider doing Baron now. They have so many core items. Floater gets caught by JK. Will the jungler get a solo kill? Oh no, Golem joins the fight here. JK gets the assist, gets the kill with the assist from Golem. Weijian now in a whole bunch of trouble. One more death sentence or an auto attack, or even the flag spear combo will be enough. This is GG for Machi Esports. They are the ones that come out ahead in this so-called new blood battle.
A 26-minute game in Machi Esports coming in with a game plan as compared to a team that didn't have one, and the results are very clear.
That's right. Team composition-wise for ISG Rebirth was a little bit sporadic. Actually, a little bit is quite an understatement here. And they didn't really know what to do with the weapons that they have. They had they were a Swiss Army knife. They could do everything, but not very well.
I wouldn't say they're Swiss Army knife. They were a poorly assembled jigsaw. They were amalgamation of jigsaw puzzle pieces. Bits and pieces taken from, I'm gonna take like some from here, some from there, and they don't even form a complete picture at the end of the day.
That's right. So there we have game number 3 there. Machi Esports really putting on a show for themselves, showing how the Taiwanese region, why the Taiwanese region is considered the strongest region in the Garena Premier League. So that will be it for game number 3. Stay tuned for game number 4 because it will be War Gods up against HQ Esports Club. The question of the night will be, can War Gods connect to Summoner's Rift? Because the last time they played, they were not able to reconnect, forcing the forfeit from them. That was very unfortunate. I really hope to see War Gods play.
You know, I was going to ask you, do you think we will be seeing an upset, and then you just asked me if you're going to connect in the first place?
I mean, it is something that we have to tell our viewers. They have to expect it, at least. There's a risk of it happening. But I do hope we get to see War Gods play, this time with no connectivity issues, and hopefully they just